The other qualitative aspect, which is management, including the style of leadership of the CEO and then board of the directors, how the organization structure being formed, compensation, is it attractive enough to attract good talents, good research and development for the product and for the market, effective and efficient expansion, concerning to the allocation of the capital to produce expected return, good corporate governance, the work ethics, cost effectiveness, and then cost structure. Next is how we see the prospect. What is the weaknesses of the two approaches? The quantitative approach will take a longer time to make a decision. And second thing is it will sometimes ignore the market trend. And what is the weaknesses of the qualitative approach? It may ignore the right price at the right time to buy or to sell. The key factor related to the bottom-up approach is the internal financial of the company, which is the most important thing is earning before interest and tax in quarter 4, which is gross profit, and then also the net profit after tax, consistent profit and operating income. The most important financial ratio is return on equity, debt equity ratio, and profit margin, which must be constantly stable. Non-recurring gain and loss, depreciation and amortization, fixed asset revaluation, capital expenditure, capital structure being formed, which is differences between the equity and bond or the loan. Next is current asset comparing to management performance, dividend payout ratio comparing to return earning with satisfactory return. Next is government bond yield comparing to price earning ratio. It should be 1 to 2 comparison. Okay, let's take a look the most important financial ratio from the stock valuation calculator point of view. First is return on equity, second is debt equity ratio, and then profit margin. Why return on equity is so important? If you see the caption in the slide, you see the 3 different financial ratio: return on sales, asset turnover, and financial leverage. 3 combined will produce return on equity. Return equity consists of ratio assessing the industry and company profitability, assess the operation of the business, assess the company financial flexibility is included in one ratio. Let's see what is the key factor behind the changes in price. First is economic of growth of the country, which is represented by gross domestic product. Second is certain industry growth. Stock price changes related to the current performance or future performance. Environmental aspect outside the company or industry that affect on price. Next is radical changes in the company business, like they may change the business, they may downsizing, they may upsizing by merger or acquisition, something like that. Next is temporary management mistake. That mistake, it may be happen at any time, but unless they becoming permanent, it will be okay, it immediately will be resolved. Next is legal issue that not related to the company performance. Such a claim can be happen. Next is short-term price movement, such as dividend payout or other corporate action like stock split, like reverse stock, like right issue, and etc. The last one is inflation rate compared to price earning ratio. Next is still key factor behind the changes in price. So we trying to make like a matrix. You can see in the slide the internal factor first. It can be one-time occurrence or the long-term or several occurrence. One-time occurrence usually very short-term, like asset sales. It can be one time. Spin-off, sale repurchase. It cannot be happen many times, but it will happen in a short time. In the several occurrence, it can be in the form of changes on organization, strategy, and policy. This is an internal factor. Well, in the long term, it can be occur several times. How about the external factor, like merger and acquisition? It usually happen in one time, in a short-term period. But in the long term, which is happening or occur in several times, it can be the pattern of the cyclical industry. Okay, let's talk about the internal key factor that drive the price changes. The most important one is the new management installed. Of course, the company recruit the new management is aim for the best of the company, but it's not necessarily the same view of the market. The market can view the other way around. So that's why the new management which is not in their favor, it will be drop in price of the stock. What the management do is basically produce new policy and strategy. What is the strategy and policy they will be operated? Basically divided into three things: product, operation, and financial. Product strategy usually related to new technology and abandon the old technology. The strategy in the operation efficiency, it can be spin-off, which is selling out or spinning off a division to become independent or to become profit center. Refocus the business just for the core businesses and spin off the unrelated or non-core businesses. Efficiency in the operation can be done through valuation of the asset. It can be a different perspective or different value how to value the asset. The next is how to manage the tax and how to create value to reach efficiency. Still related to operation efficiency is to add more cash investment through loan or to issue bond securities, carve out, and next is split off. Is bit different than spin off. Split off is basically we have two choices but we pick one, meaning that we have to sacrifice one out of two or one out of the other. But spin off, we generally just want to spin off, just want to make a division independent. The next strategy is concerning to financial. Is it a comparison between obtaining debt and provide equity, like selling out share to the stock market or obtaining loan from the bank or issue bonds? Tax efficiency can be one of the financial strategy. Cash management comparing to working capital, it can be the choice. Management of capital expenditure, which produce the good return. Buying back share, if share considered cheap and undervalued, company that have strong cash and they don't know how to invest elsewhere, they can do share repurchase. The benefit is to increase the value of the company per share, of course. Financial strategy can be related to selling assets, selling all, or partial liquidation. Now let's talk about the external factor that drive price changes. First is new entrants, can be a company, individual, institution like pension funds. The regulation can be issue the antitrust law, anti-takeover regulation. The union of the worker becoming strong and stronger, that of course it will make a trouble to the management. There is a trend of merger and acquisition across the board with the objective to obtain economy of scale, doing diversification, optimize debt capacity, and to obtain tax benefit. The next one, the factor of the time, like political changes, cyclical factor in a certain industry or countries or region, time factor concerning economics, like fluctuation of the commodity price, changes in price, as we talked before, driving forces internal and external can be independent from the changes in the intrinsic value. What caused the changes in intrinsic value? The stock price can be decreased temporarily but can be permanent also. Why? Because bad management. If it takes longer time to resolve the issue on the bad management, it can be permanent in the decreasing in price. Next is unable to pay interest which is already due. Next is low profitability of the company that is expanding quite heavily using a debt that produce unsatisfactory return is also considered bad management. Good franchise value is the most important thing. It should be seen in the stable and profitability in the gross profit margin, and later will result increase in price. Changes in the intrinsic value resulting the changes in stock price, it can be happen in most cases due to decrease on the composite price index in the bearish time, due to some price drops in the blue chips and big cap stocks, because those stocks are the main driver of the stock market. At the bearish time also will push undervalued stocks down due to market sentiment. Stocks with good fundamental generally have small correction also, but will rebound later, except bad financial report yet to come. Our stock valuation calculator use mainly 9 parameters in determining intrinsic value. First is revenue average growth. The growth of the average year, we are using at least the last 3 years, and also we use the average industry growth to adjust or to compare what the right average growth for the company. Next is government bond yield. We use daily data which is issued by Indonesian Bond Pricing Agency every day, and use it as what we call it risk-free. The yield of government bond is the process from authorities, from the government, to invite investor, not only domestic but international, to bid the government bond, and then the government will select the highest bidder. Basically, the global investor will analyze some character of the country, like interest rate, inflation, exchange rate, country risk, and etc. So basically, government bond yield is already represent what's the critical value of one country. The third parameter is capital expenditure. Most of a good company spend a certain amount of capital to expand the business, but they have to produce a good return, satisfactory return. The bad company, they still spending certain amount of capital but didn't produce a good return. The fourth parameter is net profit after tax. Well, we don't consider net profit before tax, because at the end of the day company have to pay tax in the current year. The fifth one is the short-term debt. Short-term debt usually we use it to calculate the intrinsic value that the focus during the bullish period, because it's the company which is able to cover short-term debt in the short period is considered a good company. And long-term debt usually we use during the bad period or the bullish or a bearish period, declining period, and then is considered as very conservative because we compare the current asset to the total debt. Like we talked before, that short-term debt comparing to the net current asset, but if we combine short-term and long-term, it's gonna be a total debt comparing to the net current asset.